Hi, Rico. I'm good. How are you? See you tomorrow. Yep, drops. Me and my refresher. Living our best lives. How are you, drops? Hi, Cole from Utah. There was just a car behind me backing up and it came so close to hit me. It didn't actually hit me, but it was like a hair off. So I was just watching it. What are you? Hey, Yogi. I am manifesting a good day. That's what I always manifest. I just manifest having a good day. Literally, I'm not just saying that. Hi, Heba. Did you see that? Did you see that, Devon? Is it Devon or Devor? Yeah, I was like, should I not? But I was like, nah, they're not gonna hit me. Because they were going slow, but sometimes people don't even realize that you're back here. How are you, Heba? I'm connecting to the creative realm to create my healed future. Yes, Sally, and you know how how you do that, right? It's just really meditating, quieting your mind, moving in slowness, moving in silence. Like that's connecting to, the quantum field that we all talk about. I am. I hope you are too, Hebe. It's actually super hot today. It's like I'm in my car as usual. But usually I can just wind the windows down and it's just such a nice breeze because I'm under the trees, right? But it's a little humid right now. So I'm wondering if I might have to turn the air on. But I prefer warm than cold. So drops, it's not really like it's not that you can or can't, right? Right? Drops, it comes down to this. Like I want to explain it. Like not everybody has the knowing of that every possible reality exists, drops, and like that's why you desire in the first place because everything is here. Creation is finished. Like it's done as soon as you ask for it. But some of us aren't confident in knowing that yet. That's why I say you literally don't have to do anything to manifest. Like I've manifested and been manifesting for many times and doing things. It's not about manifestations for me. I can manifest easily. I always have been able to. Now I understand why. It's because everything's already here and created. For me, it's not about that. It's about finding happiness and being happy. That's what you need to focus on because the things that you want drops are done. But some people aren't confident in knowing and trusting that every reality exists in this very moment. It's done. It's literally done. You're not doing anything to manifest it. So the only reason why you wouldn't talk about it drops is because you're still not confident in that yet. So people will reflect back your doubts and fears, right? And that will cause doubts and fears within you. I mean, it's all you anyway, but people are just letting you know where you're at, right? Because everything's a mirror. So if you have any doubts and fears, people are going to let you be aware of those doubts and fears. Do you kind of know what I'm saying, drops? So yeah, it's best to keep it to yourself until you just know for sure that it's going to come in. But honestly, drops, you don't have to tell people your life anyway. You can keep things to yourself. We don't have to share our whole lives with anybody, right? That's how I am in general. I am just somebody that keeps things to themselves. I've always been private, a very private person. Some people like to share, and it makes them feel good when they talk about things, and it's exciting for them when you fully believe in it and you're almost maybe even seeing some things starting to unfold, and it's exciting for you to talk about it and it helps you and it's like making you feel good, then go for it. But it's one of those things where you have to feel where you're at with that and trust where you're at. Thanks, Brian. I know I can turn one question into a whole entire live. No. So Mart, listen. We're all learning. Nobody has not been where you are right now. Right? Nothing is set in stone ever. So just relax and knowing that the fact that you said you got scammed, listen, I have too. Mark. I used to get so mad. But it's the reacting that keeps these things from happening over and over again. It's how we're reacting. Just be like, oh well, I learned. You live and learn. I got plenty of times I got scammed by silly things, like just by like making a doctor's appointment and missing it, actually legitimately having to miss it because it was like my kid and something happened with them. And they made me pay a lot of money because I missed it. But I know it wasn't my fault. It's just that's how they run their system. And I was upset about that, right? To me, I got scammed. But if I stay angry at that, then you're just going to keep repeating those cycles in those areas in your life. So you have to learn to just be like, oh, well, big deal. Lesson learned in life. I know now just to be calm and go within and trust in that moment that it won't happen again. And trust me, it won't happen again if you relax. What's better to have with someone? Connect mind or body? What's better to have with someone? Connect with mind or body? I don't know what you mean by that question. Is it Cain? Life is not about happiness. Life is about serving God, which is eternal. Amen. Life is about happiness. I disagree with that. But it's okay to disagree. How you know my real name, though? Heard that you were just trying to manifest a feeling and realize that's so true. Exactly, Heba. It's so true. We all just want to feel good, right? Manifesting's the easy part. I've manifested so many things. People always ask me what's my best manifestation. Listen, manifestation is easy. Every reality exists right now. It's done. Creation's finished. It's going to happen whether you're happy or not. Trust me, if you know it's done, it's done. It's not about that, guys. It's truly about finding happiness in each moment. And only you can do that for yourself. Only you can do. And the question and that person who just said life is not about happiness, life is about serving God. Being happiness is serving God, in my opinion. For the highest good of yourself and the highest good of others, knowing that everybody's access to pure positive energy, which is God, which is source, which is your higher self. Yeah, so it's probably easy for you, Drops, and best for you not to, because that's my personality as well, Drops. Like, I just keep things to myself. I just always have been so private and just like never talk about anything that's going on in my life. Not nothing, but just I'm very.
Don't actually know what your soul needs. Yeah, I think, Yogi, I do relate to Eckhart a lot. I really loved him. I love the silence. I love the quiet. I love the stillness. Like I've always been that way as well. Like just sitting in silence. And now that I know more about this, that you're actually connecting to something like your higher self, it means even that much more to me when I'm sitting in that silence and that those pauses in between things is that awareness in between, so you can choose to make the right decisions in that moment, right? Instead of reacting, responding from a good place. Like, that's how I look at it in every moment, is that I have a choice to react, to keep things that don't serve me happening over and over again, or I have the choice in that moment to stop, take a moment, no matter how long that moment takes, and to respond from a good place. Right? So I can keep moving towards best, because that's a choice that we have in each moment. But we don't even know we have that choice until we become aware. And to me, that's what has you moving in the right direction, because like I said, you can manifest anything you want, because you got to remember this, guys. Every possible reality exists. So whatever you want, there's unlimited versions of even that manifestation. You want the best version of it. And how you get the best version of it is by feeling good, by focusing on you and feeling good on your own. Being your own source of happiness is where it's all going to come down to. Yeah, so drops, like, it's funny, but because now you know, like, that probably makes sense to you now that I said that to you. Like, okay, yeah, I get that. I'm like that too. You know, like, I've always been someone that's been very private. I keep a lot of things, you know, close to my heart. Like, I just don't want to share everything with everybody. Hi, Eric. How are you? You too, Marcus. Hey, Tail. I love that, Tail. Yes. Because that's the best thing we can do for ourselves, is to feel good. And the best thing we can do for others, because it gives them the opportunity to know that they have access to this energy. And I believe that you're doing a service to the world when you make it about feeling good. It just takes, you know, it does take a little bit of practice. And I ain't even going to say that I don't have moments where I have to, like, stop and take that pause and respond from a good place. I do it too. I think I might turn my air on. I'm actually a little warm. I just love the sound of the birds and stuff outside and, like, nature. But it's a little hot today for no AC. Hey, Christine. Oh, geez. Am I barefoot? Now I'm actually human foot.
Thanks, Eric. I had to say it, Christine. Sometimes I got jokes. Rarely, but sometimes I do. Not Fee. Hey, not Fee, not Fee. I'm like, not really, it wasn't registering that I was like, not Fee. Hi, Kira. I'm reading your thing. Always do you drive the same place for? I do. Yeah, this is like my go-to because it's like super nice here. I'm from Philly, so I know I always say I'm from Philly, but there's not like many spots you can really hang out where it's like naturey, right? I know where I live is pretty naturey, but this is like right near my Dunkin' Donuts, and there's like all trees in front of me, and there's like I'm under a tree. There's like one tree here that I can park under, so my car's not burning hot, my phone's not burning. I was led to this spot, really, when I think about it, because I was first doing these lives out in the sun, and my phone was dying because of the sun, because of the heat. I don't know why that didn't register. And then one day I was like, you know what? Let me just drive back and to see what's in this area. And I started driving back in this area. I was like, oh my God, this is so nice. There's like all these trees here. And then I found this little parking spot. So, hi, Linda. How are you? I'm doing good. What makes me laugh? Definitely like I don't know. I love to laugh. Like I like Impractical Jokers. Like I crack up at them. Um I don't know. I think like don't you think everyone has like their own sense of humor? You know, do you ever find things funny and then like you'll show people and like they won't laugh at all? Like sometimes me and my kids like they'll show me things and be like, "Oh my God, you got to see this, Mom." And like they'll show me and I'm like I don't I don't think it's that funny, right? Like I feel like we all kind of have like somewhat of our own sense of humor. Yes, these are my own teeth. Oh, Eric, you got to go out and go get her roses. That's a sign. I have like bonding on some of them, like regular bonding, but they're mine. That was funny, Christine. Hey, BB. That was fun. But you know what? I have to find a cooler spot, BB, because it's so hot right now. So like I need like a shadier spot. Like on a nice cooler day, it would be really nice to do. I mean, I love being outside. Hi, Charles. How are you? Does split energy mean one from ego and split energy is just this simple, Bridget. Split energy is indecisive energy. It's like when you're undecided in areas of your life. That's all split energy is. It's like when let's say you're manifesting something and you're like, I don't know, do I want this or do I not want this? That's split energy. Split energy is uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good when you're undecided, when you can't decide something. So just look at it more as being indecisive in that moment. What do I do if I'm getting frustrated with manifesting? Just first understand that just understand that it's normal. That it's normal. It's normal when you're, especially if you know and understand that every possibility exists in this very moment. You know it's done, right? We know that. We know If you follow me enough, you know it's done. Creation is finished, right? Every possible reality exists, and you're just like, okay, and make sure you're not doing anything to manifest as well, right? Because that causes resistance. And it's normal to feel like at times like, what the heck? Like, how much longer do I gotta wait? But in those moments, it's giving you an opportunity to relax more, to rest into that, and find something right now to feel good about. Because the thing about that is that this manifestation, it's going to show up either way, but this thing is not going to bring you happiness like you think it is. We think manifestations are going to make us happy. So when you're feeling that distance in that moment, just calm yourself down and say, okay, I can find something to be happy for right now. I can be happy in this moment. There's a million things I can do right now. I can make the best of where I'm at or find something to do right now that feels good on my own. So make it more about that. But a lot of times it takes calming down first. Answer me a question. How come, 1 month I didn't have any problems. Now all of a sudden I've had. So you're saying like, are you saying, what do you mean? Like what, you had no problems and now they're coming up to the surface? I don't know if you're saying because now you're more aware and you know this information. Sometimes it's just because you know this information and you realize that you were unhappy in a lot of areas in your life. You were just going through life accepting what is. When we become aware of this information, it sounds amazing because now we know we create our own realities, but we're also wakened up to the fact that we're unhappy and unfulfilled in a lot of areas of our lives. So things do pop up that you kind of have to like know, okay, I get it. I created it. It was unconscious, but it's okay because now I'm moving towards more. Charles, that's all I ever do. All I ever do is general affirmations. I will never affirm. I will never affirm for a manifestation. I will never affirm for myself. I am worthy. I am amazing. I will never affirm that way either. because I already am worthy. Why am I telling myself I'm worthy? Right? I will never do, I'm just very general, like funny, hysterical, laughter. My life is amazing. My life is fun. Like I just keep things extremely general. That's always worked for me. But does that kind of make sense, Linda, and the fact that now you're aware of this information, so it's like things come up and you're like, wait a minute, I've been unfulfilled and I've been settling for less in a lot of areas of my life, right? No problem, Erica. Exactly, Gremlin. Like even like anything like that will just occupy your mind and you'll realize that you like doing it and it's fun. Hey, Tammy. Okay, tell me. And thought of a time when I manifest some I didn't want. Just a split second of, okay. I was just a split second of knowing. I asked for it and it came. But you're saying, but you didn't want it though? So was it like something you were worried about and it showed up? Are you saying it was something I didn't want, just a split second? I mean, that's how quick your thoughts manifest though. Just a split second. Knowing I asked for it and it came. I'm sorry. I'm like, are you asking me a question or are you just saying like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened? Because that is like how it works. Like your thoughts manifest, right? Even when we're worrying about things, they can manifest, but it's actually, there's more power in positive thoughts than there are negative thoughts. Always know that. There's more power in your positive thoughts than there are in your negative thoughts. How do I improve the person I thought about manifest wrong sent me? Oh, okay, Tammy. Okay. Yeah, but it's let that to me just lets you know how powerful your thoughts are because I know what you're saying. Like if a person pops in my mind and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so random. This person popped in my mind." And then you get a text and it's like, "Crap. I don't want to talk to this person, but they just popped in my mind, right?" How do I improve my self-concept, for example, confidence and setting boundaries? It's all going to come down to focusing on remaining more calm and not being so reactive, Bloom. So it's the combination of practicing calmness, right? Not being so reactive, responding from a good place, and mainly when it comes to confidence and self-concept and all that, it's more of doing things for yourself, being your own source of happiness, finding joy and happiness in each moment on your own, not needing anything or anyone else to do it for you, right? So I always talk, and it's literally that's it. Like Bloom, that's it. You're just in each moment finding that happiness on your own. And the more you do that, the more you build confidence. And the more you're less reactive and you respond from a good place, that's where the confidence comes from because you realize everything's actually always working in your favor when you're responding from a good place. It's the reacting to life that we feel like we lose our confidence. Because when you're reacting to life, you're feeling like you have to be defensive because things ain't going in your favor. You're feeling like you have to defend yourself. You're feeling like you need to set boundaries all the time because you're so reactive. But when you start responding to life, there's nothing you need to, there's no boundary set. Everything just works in your favor. Right? So it's about learning how to respond from life from a good place, coming from those better, higher energies, remaining calm, settling yourself down, responding from a good place. You'll start to see everything's working in your favor and also doing things on your own to feel good, focusing on yourself to feel, focusing on you feeling good, not needing something outside of you to feel good. That's literally all you're doing. That's it. I tried manifesting my SP for months and I only got negative outcome. Because you're manifesting someone. You're my guess is that you're doing something to manifest. I don't ever tell anyone to do anything to manifest. But time frame doesn't even matter, because who cares how long it takes? Who cares if it takes 2 to 3 years? You're going to be with the person for the rest of your life. Who cares if it takes 3 years? You want to make sure it comes in right. The time thing should not bother you. It should not, because if you're doing this work, you're going to get yourself to a place where you're so happy on your own in each moment. You're just loving your life so much that that relationship, not only is it going to come in, but it's going to come in the best way possible, but you're too occupied and busy living your best life, and it's like, oh yay, hi, right? Was it because I was reacting to the fact that I manifest wrong? It could be a lot of things, Tammy. It's if something pops up, like, it's just because our thoughts are so powerful, Tammy. Your thoughts are so powerful. So I was just explaining that, sometimes you're just thinking about something. Like, I was thinking, sometimes I'll start, like, someone will pop in my mind and then they'll text me. I don't want to talk to that person at all, honestly. Like, no offense, but I don't. But because they popped in my mind, it's like a day later they text me, right? So it's just because you're thinking about it, and then it happens, and then you may react to it when it happens, right? But when that happens, I always come at it calm and kind, and then it's gone, then it passes, right? I don't get upset and say, oh my God, I got to talk to this person, and then they keep bothering me and texting me, right? It is what it is. Hi, how are you? And then that's it. We move on. Hi, Bill. Just don't think too much into it. It's like your thoughts create. It just lets you know your power. So, like, I make it more so about just calming my mind more and focusing on this present moment, right? When I'm not feeling so great, I have moments where I don't feel good too. I'm human. Like, I just move really slow in those moments. I stop in those moments. I just move slower. I do things slower, and figure out, what can I do? What do I love to do? What would be best for me to do right now? Thank you for sharing, Charlotte. I love hearing your guys' positive stories. I got to get you, I don't know if you're in our private Facebook group, but anytime you guys have a positive story, please post it in the private Facebook group. I think I'm going to start a little thing where we could start posting all of our success stories. I know I've got so many and they're all over the place. I got to get it organized. Yeah. I love it. Yes. It's like, once you make that shift, things do start flowing. Things just start happening, right? And like I said, like, it's not, you get it. You get it. It's not about these things not making me happy. It's about me making me happy. I need to make me happy. I'm the only person that can make me happy. Thanks, Christine. Yes, the private Facebook group is in my link. Just click on that link. It's that way, right? I don't even know if it's that way. Like, where's the link? When I make videos on TikTok, the link is on that side. But I'm telling you, man, I still have moments where I wake up and I have resistance, and I got to move slow. I got to take my time. I got to quiet my mind, and I got to ask myself the same question. What feels best right now? What can I do right now that feels best? And for the most part, it's usually just go take a drive, go get my drink, do a live, make a TikTok video, uh, clean my house, light some candles. Like, it's always the same things. It's really nothing. I mean, even when you start to move towards things that you want and things start coming in, you're still going to be doing a lot of the same things that you do, right? Just adding a little bit more excitement to your life. Everything you have said has worked because the breathing I did. Yeah, and I love my new thing with the breathing is the breathing out part, right? The like taking a breath and just releasing it really slow, because like I feel such that release of resistance in those moments when I'm breathing super slow, and it's just like my whole body's relaxing, because it's really all about relaxing your body as much as you possibly can, even when you're having discomfort. Even when you're having discomfort, if you can relax your body, you're good. Like nothing is, you can't mess anything up anyway. Even if you're reacting, you still can't mess anything up. You're always moving forward. Yeah, and like I always say, like you're still going to react here and there. You're still going to have resistance here and there, because you're still a human. We're still human beings. Like we're going to have we're not going to be perfect, right? We're just trying to do what best we can to feel good. That's all we're all trying to do. So that's why I do these lives. That's why I have the private Facebook group. That's why I write the books. Like we're all doing the best we can to feel good. And feeling, and it leads to more feeling good. So the only thing you're really manifesting, once you know everything is done and you understand you're moving towards it in each moment and you can't mess anything up, even if you said I just want to move towards my best life and have everything that I could ever want it, whatever that may mean, you don't have to be specific. You're moving towards it. But what you're manifesting isn't those things. It's to be happy, because the byproduct of being happy is everything you want. Do you think I should go? Go where, Linda? It's hard not to react with the evil that is going on. So when it comes to like things in your outside world, you have control over not watching those things, because what you focus on is what will continue to grow in our reality in general. Because the only reason why those stories that are they're so dominant in our world today is because so many people have so much focus on them. That's why they stay active in our lives. So we do our part, which is actually extremely powerful, by saying, I am not going to entertain those things anymore. I'm going to take my attention away from these world events that are so bad in our world. Because the more that we all watch it, the more that it stays alive in our world. That's how energy works. So we do our part because you have control over what you entertain. So I'm not watching the news anymore. I'm staying away from social media. Anytime I see that on my TikTok or social media, I'm gonna scroll right past it. You have control over that. And try to get off my medicine. Linda, so don't, I would say trust listen, if you get off your medicine just a little bit and you get nervous, then you can go back on it. There's no wrong or right, right? So that's up to you. That's a decision you have to make and go within. But like I said, like you could maybe take the dose down a little bit. And if you, oh, I feel good, I'm feeling amazing, this is awesome, right? And then you keep doing that. You can, just like anything. But if you, for 1 second, you're like, oh gosh, I might need to take it again, then you take it again. You'll get there. Don't rush it. Just take your time. It's baby steps, just like anything else, Linda. Even for us, anyone learning this information, it is really baby steps. Oh, well, that's good, Linda. Then yes, if you're a psychiatrist and you agree and you're asking my opinion, I would say, yeah, start small. Start small. Exactly. Thank you, Christine. Always, yes, always do it with your doctor. You know, make those decisions with your doctor. Before. Yeah, TikTok, like, seriously, like everything is the TikTok algorithm is the same. It's the same thing. It's how manifesting works, right? It's how our minds work. That's everything's a mirror. Everything's reflecting back to us. So if we're thinking about these world events all the time and the news and politics, that's what's going to show up in your life and in your news feed and just in life in general. Like, I have no idea what's going on with the news or politics or anything at all. It never shows up in my reality. I could even be around people and it doesn't show up in a conversation. I just am not around that conversation if people are talking about it, because that's just not where what's in my mind. If work that brings up fear is coming effortlessly and in a way that seems to say, work through it. If work that brings up fear is coming effortlessly and in a way. So what are you saying? It's getting better. Your job's getting better. Yes, go with it. Go with it. Let things unfold the way they're supposed to, right? If you're manifesting something like different or a different job, or if you have like something you desire, yeah, anything that doesn't feel good, anything at all that doesn't feel good in that moment is like anxiety, fear. It's all those lower energies, right? And the more you stay calm, the more things start to shift and work in your favor. It's the opposite of what you want, basically. But yeah, the more you relax and the more you just, make the best of where you're at and you keep practicing this in each moment, you see major changes. But if you're saying just go with it, of course, if you're feeling good, go with it. But if you're saying in regards to manifestation, it will lead you to that if you're manifesting something. Just because your life is getting amazing where you're at doesn't mean that's where you have to stay for the rest of your life. Your manifestations are going to come in. Me pushing buttons. Christine, we just want to have fun and positive. Can't entertain. Right, Tammy? I'm just looking at that. Like, that's really what it's about. Like, I love answering these questions, but like, and I want to, that's what I'm here for, to give clarity to you guys. But it is actually really simple. It's just knowing that every possible reality exists, and that's why you have the desire in the first place, because it's here. That's why you have the desire, right? And you're unlimited. So every possible reality exists. And whenever you want to manifest something, you have to know that you're so unlimited and we're so unlimited and infinite, that there's a best version of that manifestation. So it's not really about that. It's about more so knowing that what you want is done, and that's it. You don't focus on that anymore. Because you have to understand what it comes down to is that these manifestations, they're not what's going to bring you the joy that you think. When a lot of us get into manifesting, we think these manifestations are going to bring us happiness, and they're not. You're just going to be back the same person with just more stuff or different stuff, right? At a different job or a bigger home, but it doesn't mean you're going to be, now I'm happy and fulfilled. No, the only way to be fulfilled and happy is by you making yourself fulfilled and happy. So you need to be your own source of happiness. So it's about practicing that. It's about practicing happiness. Yeah, Charles, like anybody that tells me like, it's bringing up something or something, that's okay, because you just get calm and you just relax into that. You don't have to, figure out why you're feeling that way, where it came from, right? We don't have to ever figure anything out. We just know that we're moving towards best now. We're moving towards better in each moment. And there's no figuring anything out. That's what's so great about it. Your higher self is taking care of everything. There's nothing you need to do. You just sit back and relax. Like, these realities are already happening. And your higher self is just telling you to relax, trust me, and to trust. It's all going to unfold the best way possible for you. And Really, all you have to do is relax. And the byproduct of relaxing and meditating and moving slower and doing some breath work here and there is that you do start to feel better. You really do. Like, did you guys ever test it out with people and how you respond and react in situations to know it's all you and you're always like you use the word opera and power. I know I'm not figuring it out, but I need to make a decision to go for it or not. I know it. I know it. I'm not figuring it out. What do you mean a decision? Oh, you're saying you might want to stay where you're at. You can stay there. You can't make a wrong decision, Charles. I explain this all the time about decisions. Listen, you can't make a wrong decision. Do you know how many times I had two job opportunities and opportunities and I picked the wrong one? And then I called the other place and I said, hey, you guys still hiring? And I went to the other one. You can't make a mistake. You literally cannot make a mistake. When did it first click for you and you realize relaxing, feeling good is key? Um, I think that I've always been calm. I always knew there was a power in calmness because I've always been very calm. I've always been calm, like, and quiet as a child, and I was always scared. I had a lot of fear as a kid being in school, and when I would stay calm, things would always work out. So, like, just by getting very calm and still, things would actually work out for me. So, as a child, I was always very aware. I always knew there was a power to calmness. Then, it reaffirmed that for me when listening to like Abraham Hicks and Eckhart Tolle, especially them two, because they talk a lot about stillness and calmness and relaxing. I'd say Eckhart the most, but Abraham talks about it also, relaxing. All you have to do is relax. When did you realize you could trust the universe of a next? Oh, it speaks for itself, Eva. For me to start trusting, because the more I relaxed and was kind and responded from a good place, things were working in my favor. They just worked out for me. I didn't have to do anything. That's why I talk about you don't have to set boundaries anymore. When you start to really respond from that loving place without judging the situation at all, there's no setting a boundary. It just works in your favor. So for me, it was just changing. My life was working in my favor when I stopped reacting. At first I was reacting because I had to learn this as well, right? Your world gets shaken up when you're learning that you create your own reality. I don't care what anyone says. Your world to some degree does get shaken up. And I was reactive because I was creating unconscious things as I was learning this. Because why? Because I was doing the manifesting stuff too. These manifestations you find out quickly are not going to make you happy. Yes, they're still there. You're going to move towards them, but you really got to learn how to be non-reactive. That's key to this. So the more that now I had a lot of stuff that I created unconsciously, so I had to stay calm. I had to do these practices and relax and do all these things. But the more I did these practices and I used everything in my reality to practice this, things were changing very quickly in my favor. And then I got easier to see the power in calmness and how like you literally just have to remain calm, come from a really good, kind, loving place. Don't judge the situation. It will always work in your favor. It has to work in your favor, but you got to think you're doing the world a favor. You're coming from a good place. You're not controlling anything at all. It's only you and it's only your energy, right? So you're just responding from love. You're responding from kindness. You're just remaining calm without judging it. It has to work in your favor. It has no other choice. Your thoughts do, yes, your thoughts create your reality, but you don't want to try to control your thoughts. You want to make it more about how you feel. You want to make it more about feeling good and more so when you don't feel good, remaining calm, not so much trying to control situations through your thinking because we have a lot of resistance around a lot of thoughts. It's not, it's Daniel. So I don't say that you can't do those things. You can, but there's a lot of resistance because you don't have to do anything when you know everything's already done. You don't have to do them. You do not. A lot of people do them because they're used to doing things to get things, right? Because that's how we're programmed. And people don't fully trust yet, so they use these techniques to build that belief. They don't just trust the fact that everything's already created here. Everything's literally already created here. But visualization, I will say, for me, from my experience, has happened very naturally on this journey. The more that I just flow through life and I feel good, visualization it just flows through me. It just happens, right? So it doesn't have to be necessarily visualization, though. It could be you just maybe scrolling through a TikTok and like a video pops up, and that's like part of your connected to your manifestation in some way, shape, or form. So it's like your own path of least resistance. Your higher self is going to get these messages to you in the best way possible for you. So for some people, because they're still limited, it's still affirmations because they feel the need that they have to do something. If you reacted to the 3D and block them, what now? If you reacted to the 3D and block them, what now? Make it work in your favor. Just focus on yourself now, Catherine. You can reach out and say, hi, I want to, or you could don't reach out if like to start anything, but you can just say, you know what, I'm going to focus more on me, because you should be focusing on you anyway when it comes to a relationship, right? You're reacting because you're too focused on a manifestation. You're too focused on a person. You need to bring that energy to you and focus on you. So you can just say, you know what, I think I'm just going to, I only blocked you because I just want to focus on me. So it's nothing personal. I just really want to focus on myself and becoming the best version of me. And just leave it at that and actually do the work. Focus on you, right? If you know how this works and you trust in creation and knowing it's finished, then you will be able to do that confidently. Just focus on yourself and be your own source of happiness. Because when it comes to a relationship, you need to become your own source of happiness. Hey, Mike. But you said you already did. You said, no, just if you talk to that person or if you're in contact with them, just say, hey, I'm just going to focus on me for a while. The block wasn't anything personal. I'm just going to focus on me, and you come from a good place, and leave it at that. That's it. Don't look any more into it. Stay away. Keep your focus away from that person and that manifestation. You really got to focus on you. That's where you're going to see change in your life. How do you get out of the healing improvement trap? Does anxiety cause? Well, first just say there's no healing involved, right? That's like another cycle that we think we have to heal and do all these healing things. You're not healing anything. You're not reacting. You're practicing non-reaction. The only thing that keeps things from popping up over and over again that don't serve you is reacting to them. That you keep reacting to them. So the only thing you're practicing is remaining calm and relaxing and moving about your life slowly and gracefully and peacefully and relaxing your body more. You're not healing anything. If you're healing anything, you're healing the fact that we're so reactive. You're healing that one thing, that we're reactive to life. We're all reactive to life. So we all need to heal the fact that we're so reactive, everybody in the world. So that's the only thing you're healing. There's no healing anything from your past or any of that. That doesn't exist. You're only focusing on the here and now. So anytime that you're reacting, you're getting upset, you're getting frustrated, you're getting, whatever, you're just going to practice relaxing. It's all good. I'm exactly where I need to be. Everything's unfolding perfectly. This serves a purpose. This is helping me practice relaxing right now. I don't need to do anything. I just need to relax my body. I just need to quiet my mind. I'm just going to do some breathing right now. And I'm going to quiet my mind. I'm going to listen to a meditation. I'm just going to relax. And that's literally all you're doing. You're teaching your body to relax, right? Yes, Mike, without a doubt. Exactly, Sally. anxiety cause you to procrastinate? So, and Eva, it's not about procrastination either. I just read the rest of your thing. It's not, there's no really such thing as procrastinating. It's about lining up with what you want and your desires, and then it's inspired to do them. It's fun to do them. So the procrastination part is just because you're not lined up with what you want to do yet. A lot of times we're doing things we don't want to, so it feels like we're like, oh, I got to do this again. Because you're doing things, a lot of things you don't really want to do. They don't serve you anymore, right? And the more you relax your body, you'll release those things that don't serve you, and you'll be able to allow the things that are meant for you, that feel, you won't procrastinate. You're just going to do them because you love it. How do you feel about ego? Do you think when we react, it's from, well, it's just another way of explaining it, Diab. Like people use the word ego. I don't use the word ego. I just never did. Um, but it's just another way of explaining how we react. The ego reacts. That's all. There's millions of different ways that people explain this and interpret like the way this works. But for me, I never used, I think I may have used the word ego in my first book when I was first learning this, taking information from other sources though, mostly. But I don't use the word ego. But it's just you reacting. So you could say the ego reacts. You could say that. I see what you said, Tammy, but I have no idea what you said it to. Perfectly said. Like, cause I don't even know, cause I'm just going on rant after rant. Not a bad rant, good rants, like helpful rants. Yeah, you're literally only, you're only practicing non-reaction. Everything else will fall into place. Even the self-love part that we talk about, whatever you want to call it, self-love, it just falls into place the more you're not so reactive to life. Because you just figure out that you're your own source of happiness. It makes sense. You realize, you're like, wait a minute. When you stop reacting to life, you realize it's all you. It just, everything starts to click and make sense. You realize nothing outside of you has any control over you at all. It's literally all you. So you want to start coming from a good place now. That's what you want, because that's the only thing that's the only way you're going to start feeling good, is when you stop reacting, being so reactive. Right, Tammy? It's so true. And I know when, even in the moments now when I'm not feeling good, it's so clear to me like what I have to do. I'm like, all right, yeah, well, just do what you like to do. Duh, like there's a million things I actually enjoy doing now. But sometimes I get sucked back in and I'm like, oh God, but should I do that? And I'm like, no, go do what you like to do, which is usually make a TikTok or do a live or something like that, because that's what I love to do. Yeah, so Eva, a lot of people on here talk about EFT tapping. I never did EFT tapping, but I know a lot of people do talk about it. Hey, Shalina. Oh, there you go, Shalina. Shalina likes it too. But I never did it. I watched a few videos on it, but I didn't resonate with it personally. Can you talk about how the mind tries to re-traumatize out of survival habits and how to stop that? It's just that some things, it's not really that. It's just the fact that some stories have so much, they're heavy, they're dominant, they pick up so much momentum, and we start labeling them. When you're not feeling good, you are labeling things, right? So you label it's trauma, it's from this, it's from that, and you start creating more stories around it, right? The only thing you need to do, this is even, you only have to don't make it more complicated. Just know that when you don't feel good, whenever you don't feel good, it's because it doesn't serve you anymore. Make it about how you feel, and simply how you feel in each moment. When you're not feeling good, trust me, it's something that doesn't serve you anymore. You don't need to know where it's coming from. You don't need to figure it out. Just know that this doesn't serve me, right? But in the same moment, it's serving you, because it's allowing you to know that it doesn't serve you anymore. So you accept it for what it is in that moment by relaxing. That's how you accept it. by knowing it doesn't serve you anymore, accepting it for that moment for what it is. Relax your body as much as possible, move slower, breathe slower, right? Everything's working out for me. Even this moment is serving me. And the more I accept it in this moment, I'll release it. So I'm just relaxing. And trust me, you will get a shift. And you'll be like, all right, let me do what I like to do right now, which is probably just go take a drive and get the drink that I like. Literally, you will feel better. You will start to feel better. And the more you do this, it'll start to make sense. The more it will start to click. Don't make it more complicated. Don't create a story around it. Don't label it, right? Just it doesn't feel good. It doesn't serve me. That's all it is. Make it simple. It's called resistance. When something doesn't feel good, it's called resistance. And we're either resisting it in that moment by creating more drama around it, which we do because we're human. And the more we practice this, we do it less, right? We're either resisting it or we're accepting it. It is what it is, right? It's here to let me know it doesn't serve me. So let me just relax my body and let me just hang out here and just know everything's good. Like I'm exactly where I need to be right now. Like this is literally where I have to be here. I'm supposed to be here in this moment. This is all moving me towards what I want. And my only job, I only have one job, and that's just to chill and to relax as much as I can. And the more you do that and you quiet your mind, again, you'll get that shift and you'll start to feel better. And you'll be like, you're right. You know what? I'm just going to go do the dishes right now, or I'm just going to like make my bed, and you'll feel better. And that's literally it. Like that's literally all you're doing. I'm not even kidding. But I don't anymore. Thank you for that. I used to cancel a label it, but I don't anymore now. I just want to feel good. Yeah, Linda, it's so true. Hmm. Okay, I was thinking about momentum this morning. It's true. Like if we have so much momentum. Yes, Tammy. That's why in the beginning, Tammy, like a lot we think we're not making progress because we're like I'm still not feeling good and I'm still upset and these stories are still popping up. It's because a lot of these stories carry so much momentum, so they're taking a little bit of time to die off. But trust me, it's working. You are moving forward. If you're doing these practices, you are making progress and they are fading. You just keep continuously doing these practices and eventually they literally disappear. I'm not kidding. You'll think you're magic, like Abraham says that. I'm not. You will literally feel like magic because they will fade from your life, and you'll be amazed that things are working in your favor. You're like, wait, that just worked in my favor. Like I don't even have to do anything now. That those plans just got canceled. I didn't have to do anything to cancel it. That's what was happening to me. It was so weird. So if we have a feeling of not trusting someone, just relax and come back to self. Yeah, because it's remember, that's just you not trusting them. It has nothing to do with the other person. We're starting to create a story now. So you only have to relax, Bridget, in that moment and get yourself really calm and get yourself to a good place. And trust me, it will work in your favor. Don't worry about how. Don't worry about when. Don't worry about any of that. Just know in that moment that feeling doesn't feel good, right? That's not your best your best reality, right? You just relax and you breathe. It's always working out for me. This isn't true. Anything that doesn't feel good isn't true. It's a lie. It's limiting. Thanks, Ashen. Yeah, Lyndon, I feel like everybody has, everyone has a story and everyone has, things that like, like trust issues or these types of issues but honestly, in the end, they're all just unfavorable stories. It doesn't even matter where they came from or where they stemmed from. You could be looking for the rest of your life of where these things came from. It's all knowing that it doesn't serve you, and that's all that matters. It's called resistance. They don't serve you anymore, and you know now that you are here to live an amazing life and you're moving towards that. The more you just relax in those moments that you don't feel good, it's I listen, the practice is simple. I like simple. I've always done it this way. For me, this was easy. I never felt like trying to figure out where these stories come from. or if it was a time my mom yelled at me or didn't, dad yelled at me, I wasn't going to sit there and try to ever figure out where anything was coming from. I just knew it didn't serve me. And I know by just remaining calm and knowing I'm moving towards best, I'm focusing on what the good, my best life, all the things that I'm moving towards, not these things that don't serve me. They fade. These stories fade. You don't have to figure anything out. Yes, Mara, I will. I know. I was going to do it today before I left, but I just wanted to leave instead. So I will. This one, I promise, I will get this one up before I do my next live. Well, I don't like making promises. I never liked making promises. Like when your kids always try to get you to make promises because I live in the moment. But yes, I'm going to try to get this one up before my next live. Actually, sometimes I can't because they don't download right away either, Mara. So I got to give them time to actually download. And hi, Mara. I didn't say hi back to you. I just seen that. Thanks, Kat, for the roses. Yes, Mara. I will. I promise. I'll get them up. I'm trying to think of what was like. I don't post all the lives because some of them are like even some of the ones when we hang out here, they're just very. You never know like what the conversation's going to be. I guess they're all useful in some way, shape, or form. There's always good information in them. Um, I think last night's was pretty good. But yes, I will post this one and I think last night's was good. Hey guys, did you catch that? There we go. There they start again. Chris, I always get that. I mean, I don't always get it, but I do get that compliment. Julia Roberts, which we literally just talked about yesterday, how nobody was who said it? Someone said, I haven't heard Julia Roberts in a while, and I said, watch it. Well, you just manifest it, and now we're gonna see it, right? We could have some good drinking games on here. How can how can we get rid of the feeling of needing to do something? Yeah, so that's going to come with relaxing as well. That is part of this. Feeling so action oriented and being because we're programmed to be such doers and having to do. And the more you relax, trust me, you're going to eliminate so much from your life. You're going to have so much free time to do what you want. It'll all fall into place the more you practice these, just what I tell you. And also like also focusing on yourself and doing things you love, right? You're going to really start getting a taste of what it's like to feel good because you're doing things that you want to do. And by relaxing more, you just start lining up with what's actually meant for you. So it's not going to ever feel like action. It's not going to feel like you're forced to do things anymore. All those things that you used to do are going to be gone out of your life because you're going to be allowing things that are actually meant for you to come in. And you like doing those things. Things that are meant for you are because they're aligned with you. So you're going to start loving what you do all the time. And at first it's going to feel a little weird and uncomfortable that you're actually doing stuff for yourself, right? Because we're not used to that. But trust me, it'll get easier when you realize that feels good. And you're going to get a taste of what feels good. So you're going to start moving towards what feels good and it's going to get easier. What does it mean when you don't want? Um, it doesn't mean anything, Sarah. The thing about it is that you have to understand, Sarah, is that every possible reality exists in that moment, in this moment. So there's versions of you with many people. Many people you can have an amazing relationship with. Maybe it could clearly mean, Sarah, that maybe you really aren't ready for a relationship, and you want to focus more on yourself, right? Maybe you're just not ready for it. Like, don't make it more of something, right? It could just mean like, you know what? I really didn't want a relationship after all. I just wanted to feel good. So you use that as a way to start feeling good. Now you're feeling good and you're like, you know what? I didn't even want the relationship. But you have to understand, like I said, like there's billions of people that in this planet that you can be with because you're unlimited. So it means that you probably did the work, you started to feel good, and you're like, you know what? I don't even think I really wanted the relationship. I think I just wanted to feel good, right? Does that make sense, Sarah? No problem. Honestly, it's good because you did the work. Yeah, so that's a really good thing. So just keep that momentum going, Sarah. What about the dreams or goals? Think about them in a relaxed mood and keep the faith. So for me, Ed, it's like not really about setting goals or anything. Like I don't set goals. I just know that what I want is done. But Ed, I also know that there's a best version of it. So I don't try to like think about it much at all. Believe it or not, I don't think about the manifestation. I just know it's done, and it's like every now and then a reminder is like, duh, because I know how this works. I know every possible reality exists. But Ed, I always remember that like we're so unlimited. So like there's like the best version of things that you can experience in this life. So I keep it extremely general and know that I'm moving towards it in this very moment. And yes, it is about a lot of trust, right? You're trusting in that your higher self, which is you. You're trusting in yourself, really. Your higher self is you. That it's all going to unfold perfectly. And my only job is actually super easy, but it's challenging because we're not used to it. Is to just do things that feel good for me. What do I love to do most out of the three things that I can think of? What feels best in this moment, and choose that thing and go for it and do it and keep doing that. Keep asking yourself that question and doing that thing that feels good. Does that kind of make sense, Ed? The path of least resistance is wherever you're at with your limiting beliefs, Diab. So, like, I always explain this, like, when I first started learning this, my path of least resistance was a little bit bumpy because I was still learning this. I didn't trust. I had a lot of limiting beliefs. But the more that you focus on yourself and you practice non-reaction, your path of least resistance, you don't have much resistance. So it's a pretty clear path, easy path. But in the beginning, it may be a little bumpy still. Like an example, I'll give you an example real quick, is when I was manifesting to work from home, I took a very zigzag path to get there. Like I almost felt like I forced myself to apply for another job. I didn't want to work at another job. I wanted to work from home. But how it led me there was my path of least resistance was to apply for another job. So I applied for another job, got the job easily, worked there, said, this is horrible. Why am I here? Why did this happen to me? Heard a voice in my head, just stay calm. And I was like, okay, stay positive. No, it wasn't stay calm. It was stay positive. So I was like, you know what? I'm not working here. This is not a fit for me. And I felt good. I released resistance in that moment. Got in the car, and my friend said, hey, girl, why don't you do this? Duh. And it never even dawned on me that was an option for me. And that's what led me to work from home. But it was very bumpy. But that's because I still had limiting beliefs. So, but that was my path of least resistance. That's why I always say, you're going to get there either way, and everything's a stepping stone to more. But you want to continue doing these practices. You want to continue relaxing and practicing non-reaction by relaxing and making it about feeling the best you can in each moment. Those two things are the only things that you need to do. It'll lead you to everything. It'll lead you to more. It'll lead you to what's best in each moment. I feel much better today for the first time after I feel my cells are healing. Oh, dream life. I love that. Yes. Like I have a meditation dream on my, because I have so many people ask me about physical pain. And I talk about how like your cells are literally always renewing themselves. And every second, new perfect cells are constantly going in front of the not healthy ones. And if you can just keep reminding yourself that, that alone sometimes can release resistance, right? New healthy cells are constantly popping up in my body all the time. New healthy, new healthy. But thank you for sharing. I love hearing that. We're so powerful, and it lets you know how powerful you are, right? Um, I started I started this all of this when I felt completely lost in my life. That's how this all started. I felt stuck. I felt confused. I didn't know like why I wasn't happy. I couldn't figure it out. And it just took me down this path of learning all this information, like becoming aware of all this information of manifestation. This was probably about 4 years ago. I always was a person that felt good and I knew how to feel good and I was calm, but I had so many limitations in my life. When I went back to work, that's when everything really went downhill for me. I was like, wait a minute, I always felt good for the most part. This doesn't feel good. Work doesn't feel good to me. And I worked with great people. I always manifested great jobs, but yet I was like, this feels like imprisonment to be on such a structure of like, oh, I have to ask for a vacation. I can't take a day off and be with my kids because this person needs me, or I felt so dependent on. I felt so dependent on with work. There were so many things around work that I just didn't like, but yet I worked with great people. So I would say 4 years ago was all about, it all started because of working, and nothing against anyone. It's just I felt like this was not meant for me. So again, I became aware of all this information. One thing led to the next, and it woke me up to that a lot of this, like just knowing we're so unlimited. We're here to live an amazing life. You're supposed to feel good. Epiphany you had? An epiphany? Epiphany. I have so many. And you do have so many. I could never name just one epiphany because you have so many haha moments. You have so many things that you're constantly like, oh my God. I'll say some of the biggest ones that stand out to me is when you start truly putting yourself first and you're like almost being rewarded. You feel like you're being rewarded by the universe when you actually choose you and you confidently choose you and don't do the old thing that you used to do probably a couple times before you realize that's keeping you stuck in a cycle. So I would say the epiphanies that I most notice is when you actually choose yourself first. Because you become so much more alive when you keep choosing you. You become so much more authentic. You become so much more not afraid to be you. You're like, you know what? This is me. This is who I am. People will either vibe with me or they won't, and that's not my problem. You don't care what people think anymore because you're just being yourself and it feels too good to be you. So the more you start choosing you, it feels good to be you and choose you. You'll never go back. You'll never, ever, 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 ever go back again. Once you get a taste of what it's like to feel good, you don't want to go back to not feeling good. So you're going to get better at this, and this is going to get easier. Yeah, I couldn't relate to work. I couldn't relate to like the fact that you go there every day, you have to be in at a certain time, and like working overtime was killing me, and then having to come home and be a mom and having to ask for vacation. And guess what? Guess what? I could get whatever I wanted. I always got to like a place at my job quickly where like it was easy for me to get. I had a good self concept, I think, my whole life. So I knew like I always got what I wanted type person. So that wasn't the problem. But it was like I just felt like I was meant for more. Basically, I just felt like I was meant for more. I was just felt like I was limiting myself at jobs. And people always have taken advantage of me because I'm an easygoing person. Did you ever have to deal with pride? Never realized till someone bought. What do you mean by pride? Uh, After meeting you, I quit both my jobs. That was taken 82. Oh gosh, yes, I know. Like we have, you do. You feel, you're like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Right? This is killing me. What do you mean by like pride, in what way? But you're saying your ex came back after 5 years, but I don't want him. I don't know. That's all Neville Goddard, Birds Before Landing or whatever. If you're, to me, like, if I've never had that. Like people say like, oh, they've, other people start approaching you. Well, everybody starts approaching you when you are confident in who you are, like, and you're just positive. People do magnetize towards that energy, but not, it's not always like in a creepy way, right? Well, that's just life in general. But I'm saying like, I don't understand Neville's teachings like that to really give an opinion. But if you're saying you don't want this person anymore, why does that even matter? The BBL thing. How did you start writing? I started writing um like the 4 years ago. I started out writing blogs. I was writing blogs every day about this information. So I started writing blogs, and then I felt inspired to write my first book, which was Intuition is Simple. And this was all while still working and learning this information. So I wrote the book, got it published, and then wrote the second book. But I had a desire. I just wanted to self-publish. I don't know why. I just wanted to say that I did it. Really, I don't know why, because it it is what it is. Like, um, but it did lead me to the ebooks, which that's what I absolutely love. I like writing the ebooks the most. So it was just like one thing after next. I started writing blogs. So if you're, and TikToks, I was starting out making videos on Facebook and Instagram where I would probably get one like, because nobody knew what I was talking about, right? Because this is all people that, like, I wasn't like hashtagging anything, or I was just speaking about this because I was so passionate about it, but nobody I knew understood a word I was, maybe a few people were like, oh, that sounds inspirational, but I don't think anybody really was relating to it, right, as much until I got on TikTok. Then that's when I blew up. I blew up on TikTok because so many people were resonating with me. Now, well, so I don't understand that I don't, it that it's contradicting, because you're saying that you don't want it anymore, but you're asking if it's a sign to have, so I don't, are you manifesting another relationship? So it's kind of like the comment you're saying about the BBL and not wanting the relationship anymore sounds, I mean, yeah, oh, you place meaning on everything, so just place a good meaning on it, really. Pride, like that I'm supposedly prideful or selfish. I had someone told me that. No, no, because anyone that says that is still not confident in who they are, and they have doubts. And if that's reflecting back to you, then you might have a little doubts, a little bit of doubt still in choosing you first. But people only say that because they don't understand it. They don't understand this. That's all. That you're gonna move towards your best, but think about it. You're moving towards what's best for you and just doing things that you like, and choosing to put yourself first and do things that actually align with you. Why would anybody, how could anyone be mad at you for that, unless you, the only reason why we attract those things is because we're still a little insecure about moving forward towards, that's what I talk about all the time. Everything's just reflecting back where you're at all the time. Okay, so if you're feeling like people are coming at you because you're choosing you, it's because you may still not be fully confident in that yet. And that's okay. You keep moving forward. You will. And trust me, less people will reflect that back to you. Less and less and less, to where they won't at all. They just fade from your life. They don't match you anymore. Do you have to settle yourself every negative thought, or only the ones that cause anxiety? So, Ave, like, just make it more about anything that doesn't feel good at all. Don't make it more about, like, just make it more about feeling in general. So anytime that you just don't feel good and you're feeling a little unsettled, it could be anything. It could be, you could be not even know why, right? It could be an obvious story that pops up, or it could be like, I don't even know why I don't feel good right now. I have no idea why. It could be because you're like, I'm never going to get my manifestation, or it could be because just a random crappy thought popped in your mind out of nowhere. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't feel good, it doesn't serve you. That's it. So anytime it doesn't feel good, you're just relaxing. You're just relaxing your body. And you're saying, you know what? I'm thankful for this because it's letting me know that this doesn't serve me. And the more that you can just accept it in that moment that it's actually serving you, because it's serving you, so you can release it. And you can relax and you can just be like, you know what? I'm thankful for that thought. I'm thankful for that scenario. I'm thankful for that circumstance because it's letting me know it doesn't serve me anymore. And the more that you relax and you practice it and you use it to your advantage, which is just relaxing, these things will work in your favor. They start to work in your favor. So would you say just trust in? Yes, trust in the unfolding of things because your higher self, God, source, has your best interests and it will come in the best way possible. That's why it's about falling into trust and constantly falling into trust, right? Because we don't know what's best for us. We don't. And I'm saying you can have whatever you want, but we don't know how to bring it in the best way. Let me put it that way. We don't know how to bring it in the best way, right? We know what's best for us. We know what we want and we get to have whatever we want, but we can't bring it in the best way. Our minds are way too limited. So yes, it is about letting your higher self bring it in for you the best way possible, which to me, hey, I don't got to do nothing. I'm good with that. All I got to do is feel good. And guess what? You'll be surprised that by feeling good, you're actually walking right into your manifestation. And you don't even realize it because you're doing what you love. So you're almost like it's just you're walking right into it. It just pops up one day or you're like, wait, it just unfolded for me. It's actually here. Whenever people say that I'm trying to manifest you, I'm like, you did manifest me. I'm here. Can you talk about trying to manifest something within time period? I'm trying. So I don't ever tell people to manifest anything in a time period. If you're manifesting money, if you're manifesting a relationship, it's because if you need something so bad, you are wanting something outside of you to make you feel better. So in those moments, you want to do these practices. You want to relax. You want to say, I have everything I need right now. I am always taken care of. I have everything I need in this very moment because that thing is going to be a quick fix and you're going to find yourself back in those cycles over and over again. You are provided for. You are taken care of. You just can't see it. You can't feel it yet, right? You have to do these practices. Trust me. Trust me. If you do what I say, you're going to move towards so much more than that little thing that quick fix is going to do for you in that moment. No, I wouldn't say. I never say anything's an automatic no. If you're unsure, you're just unsure. And the more that you do these practices, you'll get clear as time goes by, right? That's called split energy. That's being in the, like, that's not sure, right? That doesn't always feel so good. So the more you relax, you'll get clear, right? You could also say, you know what? I realize I don't want that. And that's okay because you're the one making the decisions. Tammy, I know. I think some of them are just so good. Like this is a good live, right? You never know how it's gonna go. It depends on the vibe, I guess. But I will definitely share this one, Tammy, on the YouTube. Yeah, Linda, you'll get there. Trust me. Trust me. Just keep relaxing, keep feeling the best you can in each moment, and it's all unfolding perfectly. Yes, Sally Vale. Sally Vale. I love saying your name. I don't know why. Thanks, Mike. Me screaming, Mike. I remember I used to feel self-conscious that I screamed, but now I'm like, this is who I am. This is me. Like, this is how I talk. I'm loud. I used to like try to be a little bit less or like we all try to dim our lights at times in our lives, right? Like we try to make other people feel more comfortable, so we quiet down a little bit, or we be less of ourselves in that moment. But I always say, like, hey, listen, those who want to be around you, those who resonate, they will stick with you. Those who don't, won't. And guess what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you don't want people that don't want to be around you, right? It all works out. Nail check. I actually did put on some press-ons. I have trouble in wanting to voice how people hurt me to them. How can I get over that urge? Just remain calm because it's not going to do anything. You can respond. Always, you can respond from a good place if that helps you release resistance in that moment. But you never want to get mad at anyone because that's reacting and that keeps it alive in your world and in your reality. Right? You're just going to keep matching that, and I call it the bouncing off effect, where it's like boom, boom, boom. We just keep reacting back and forth. Even if you leave that person completely and you move to a whole nother place, you're still going to keep that energy with you. You take yourself with you everywhere you go. So until you practice just remaining calm, and if you feel the need to respond, just say, I really don't like to be talked to that way. You can say it from a kind place. You don't have to. You can just keep remaining calm, and that person and that situation will fade out of your life. But if you feel the need, it always has to be from a good place, or else you just keep matching it. So the practice is just to remain calm in those moments, and remember, it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal at all. Never take it personally. Just get really, really calm. It's helping you relax and know that it's not personal, that in that moment, this doesn't serve me, whatever this is. I don't have to know why, but I'm just going to remain calm. And if I really want to respond, I'm going to say, you know what? I just don't, I don't agree with that, and that's okay. We don't have to agree. Or, you know what? I just don't like to be talked to that way. It's just, that doesn't feel good to me. And you can say that. It doesn't feel good to be talked to that way. And that's it. And guess what? You moved away from that. And trust me, you can say that from a good place. It will never happen again. Trust me. Silence speaks volumes. Silence and confidence in that moment speaks volumes. I I call it the bully effect. If somebody is going to bully you and they're going to come at you and they're going to be like screaming at you, and you are still and you are confident in that moment and you are calm, you are not giving them what they want. They will walk away from you so quick and go to someone else because you're not giving them what they want. You're no fun, right? But if you cry, if you get angry, you're giving them what they want. You're matching it. But if you're like, you're pretending it's just going over your head, like almost like they're, you know what, I used to do that. I would turn around and look like, you're not talking to me, right? Like, there must be somebody behind me because that's not directed towards me, right? No, trust me. You just cool, calm, and confident. It will not happen again. That again, a lot of people talk. I think I'm going to make my ebook, Limiting Beliefs, Overcoming Limiting Beliefs. That one has all these stories in it. It talks about what everybody talks about, like how you have to stay still, how you have to remain calm. It's like 8 pages. I think I should make that one into an audio first because I think people will get a lot of use out of that because that's everybody's question. I want to speak up for myself. I want to tell them not to talk to me that way. I want to, well, if you say it reactively, you're going to keep repeating it, right? If you say it calmly and you respond from a good place and you're like, you know what? That doesn't vibe with me. I don't like being talked to that way in a nice, calm place. They won't do it again. Trust me. That's so good, Linda. If RSP doesn't text us, do we ignore them until they do? You shouldn't even be aware of that. You're too focused on the person. ADHD, you're way too focused on a manifestation. If you're even thinking or concerned or why didn't they text me? Where's that text at? You are still focused on too much on someone else needing to fill a void within you. That is you needing something outside of you to make you feel better. If you're waiting around for a text for someone to make you feel better, you're not focused on you enough. No, you don't wait around for them to text you back. You go, what can I do to feel good right now? What can I do? What do I like to do? I'm going to go hang out with my friends. I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to go treat myself to something. I'm going to paint my nails. I'm going to take a walk. That's what you do. That's all you do when that happens. Hi, Manny. Don't ask how they're feeling. Don't check in. Don't keep texting. Don't keep wondering. Don't keep asking. You go, what can I do to feel good right now? What do I like to do? What's my favorite thing to do? Let me make myself a meal. Let me go treat myself. Let me do this. Let me do that. Like, think of all the million things that you like to do. Yes, it's actually warm here today, Manny. How's the weather where you're at? Speaking of food, I'm actually hungry. Yes, I love Abraham Hicks. Cat, do you have a routine or do you plan your day or do you not? Yeah, my life is now mostly things that I like to do now. Like there's nothing like that I really have to do too much anymore. But I don't set a strict routine. I try not to be like, if things don't go this way, I don't want to be to control it because I used to be like that more so, right? So it's kind of like I get up when I feel ready to get up and then I start my day. It's pretty routine in the morning of how I get ready for my day. Um, but yeah, like it's nothing like, it's more just remaining calm in the mornings and meditating and like that's my morning routine. That's probably the most important to me. It's most important to start your day out good. So that's, and from there, my day flows. So for me, it's more that morning. It's getting myself out of any resistance that I might have by just staying calm, meditating, relaxing as much as possible, staying as quiet as possible, right? And then I get this like burst of energy to go do something and I do it and then from then my day pretty much flows. Hi Claudia. I know. That's me, Tammy. Like I eat cookies all morning. That's all I didn't eat any food yet. And I got lunch meat yesterday, so I want to make I haven't had a sandwich yet, so I want to make a sandwich. What do you think about feminine masculine relationship in your relaxed manifestation view? So how I always explain Alexandra about like I don't know, like I haven't studied masculine and feminine energy relationships and all that to like a point, but I look at it as like there's really it's just energy, right? It's all just energy. And I don't try to get too stuck on that because I just want to be me, whatever that may lead to. I do feel like I favor more of the feminine energy. I always have my whole life. It's just been very natural for me to be more feminine, right? So I look at it more as we came here to play those roles, and that's how Abraham explains it, and I resonate with that. There's no, it's just energy. That's all it is. But when I talk about this stuff, I am in my masculine energy, right? Because I'm speaking about like this stuff so passionately. So I feel like when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm in, but when it comes to relationships, yes, I believe I am the feminine. I am more of that feminine role, definitely. So that's how I explain it. But I think we all like you can be whatever you want. Like don't make it so much like I just fall into that naturally. And how I've researched it, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely more of the feminine. But be you. Don't try to adapt to what that definitions are, right? Be what feels be you and then let it flow from there. Do you kind of know what I'm saying? Don't read so much and try to adapt to those definitions. Just do what feels best for you and you'll just kind of fall into that role. Is it okay, but did you ever deal with depression? Yes, I've wanted to, like, listen, I've been down all those paths of saying life would be better not here. I've done it many times, even while learning this. Why saying, like, why are we even here? What is the point to live here? Because it's so confusing at first. You're learning, and that is why I told guys I would not be here. I have such a passion for understanding negative emotion because I felt it so much, right? I had that big contrast of not knowing what I don't want, right? To moving forward to what I do want. So yes, I felt that. I don't like the word depression. I don't like labels. They drive me crazy. It's just negative emotion. That's all it is. It's lower energies. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't serve us. So I don't know why. I just don't resonate with like those depression and labels at all. It's just because it's all resistance. That's all it is. It's only one thing and it's resistance. It is, Kat. It's all about alignment. It really is. It's that simple. It's all about feeling good. It's the only thing that matters. It's the only thing that matters. And the solution to when you don't feel good is just to remain calm. And then you're still in flow. You're still good. You're still exactly where you need to be. So it's okay that you don't feel good because now you know you just have to remain calm and release whatever doesn't serve you in that moment. But it really does come down to alignment. I don't take anything you say. Really, Tammy? And I guess that's where I don't understand it too much and I don't try not to understand it too much, like the masculine and feminine, because I don't want it to mess with who I am. I don't want to take on these definitions and labels and try to fit into that box. So I try to stay away from those types of things like this is how you have to be you have to be like this to be more masculine, or if you want to be in a happy relationship you got to be like this, you got to be like that. I just want to be me. And if you don't like me, then you're not a match to me, right? Like, I don't want to have to fit to be something else for someone to like me, right? Do you kind of know what I'm saying? I just want to be me. So I'm really careful about what I entertain. Yeah, so even at my job, I like when I went back to work, everybody told me like that was the thing they always said. I never knew anything about like energies but oh my God, you're so feminine, you're so feminine. Because I've always been feminine. I've always been like this and like that and super girly and just like I've just always been that way. That's always been me. I've always like makeup and hair and like that's always been me. Yes, I know. So I'm so careful about what I listen to because I just like in a relationship, I don't want to have to fit a certain way that people say you have to be in a relationship. I just want to be me, right? Like I don't want to have to change because of like society or something says you have to be like this in order for a relationship to work, right? Because when it comes down to it, it's always going to be we all have source guiding us to the best of everything. Like if you start searching outside you, then you're back down that rabbit hole again, right? Trying to fit in. Just like make it more about just whatever feels right in that moment. It'll all fall into place. I think I should have blocked that person because I think that's the person that got me uh uh when I wasn't allowed on TikTok for a while, banned. Right, Claudia? That was always I always had that conversation with people because people would say, how do I get into the state of the wish fulfilled? I'm like, what the heck's the state of the wish fulfilled? There's only two states. It's either you feel good. Oh, thanks, Dream. It's either you feel good or you don't feel good. There's no state of the wish fulfilled. The state of the wish fulfilled, I guess you could say that it's done, but that's it. Like it's either Two states, feel good, not feel good. But I know that's a lot of that's because there's so many teachings and explanations and people make it more difficult. It doesn't have to be difficult, but if you want it to be more difficult and you like to research and you love to learn more and you're just maybe you're at that place of learning, that's okay too. But isn't it's either not charging right now or it's not charging. Is it broke? Now it's saying it's charging. I just had to move it around a little. Do you believe in scripting? I think scripting has its I think it's like in the beginning when you're still understanding this, it's I think scripting has its place, but you don't have to script forever. Like I think it's more so to like map out what you might want. It feels good to script in the beginning, just only do it for positive reasons. But I don't script anymore. But at first I did. So I think it depends on where you're at, right? And again, at first I loved it. Like I was still learning this. I was meditating a lot. I was trying to understand this. So I was writing things down a lot and trying to keep it positive. But again, you don't have to script. You don't. I am Glenn. Doesn't it seem that way? I wish I could be here 24/7, to be honest. Got lots of movement SP and I talked a bunch till late at night and he was telling me. Grace, you're manifesting. If you're saying you got lots of movement, then you're probably manifesting. You're doing affirmations. You're doing something to get something, but you're not doing the only thing that you have to do, which is none of that. It's focusing on you and feeling good on your own. That's it. That's all you have to do. So I can tell when people tell me like, "Oh, I'm getting so much movement," but now they're talking about this other person that they're dating. I know that they're manifesting someone because you're so focused on a manifestation. You're affirming, you're persisting. They love me, they love me, they love me. No offense, but this is what this I get this all the time. I get this story all the time. And you're doing all these things, you're bringing it in a little bit, but not the way it's supposed to. That's called like that opposite of what you want. And it's because you're doing something to get something that's already done. You're doing all this work when the only thing you need to do is focus on you and focus on feeling good on your own and saying, what do I like to do? What can I do for me? You want to manifest a relationship. How you do it is you focus on being happy without the relationship. That's the oxymoron in it, is that you need to get yourself to a place where you are so happy in your own life without a person to make you happy. That's when you manifest a healthy relationship. The person will come in healthy and happy as well. And you will both have an amazing life together. Hey, Aaron. Exactly, Aaron. That's what it is. Why so serious, though? uh, Hendrik, I can tell you're new around here. Oh, thanks, Brad. A ghostwriter, Hendrik, you are definitely new around here. I want to manifest financial freedom. So I always say, Sharon, don't manifest money. Manifesting money will keep you on a never-ending cycle, right? And that's probably what it is. You're probably manifesting money, and you're noticing what you don't have now, the bills, the lack. So it's honestly, this is how you do it. You got to focus on what you do have, make the best of what you do have, even though it's not what you want right now. You make the best of the little bit that you do have, and you know that you're moving towards more. But you have to know you're moving towards more. You have to know that every possible reality exists in this very moment, right? You're moving towards more in this very moment, and make it more about feeling good with other things in your life. That's what's going to bring in more money. Make it more of like doing things that you love. That's what's going to bring in more money. Is Abraham Hicks in opposition? No, no. Abraham Hicks is not in opposition to any other teaching. She says there's many ways to do this. She says this is not the only way that I talk about. She says there's all kinds of different ways to approach this and do this, but that's her way. That's just how she explains it. She never says that I personally believe that Abraham isn't the most updated teacher in manifesting. She's the most updated teacher in it. She makes it extremely simple. It's done. And you need to feel good on your own, and that's it. But people want the quick fix, so they're looking for other ways. No, not really. Buddhism, it never caught me enough to where I wanted to like look into it. I know some things pop up around it, and some things that I talk about connect to it, and it's all connected anyway. It's all connected, and a lot of it all has the same meaning anyway. There's just so many labels, and there's so many different ways you can interpret things. You mean it's more of a internal feeling of being happy with where you're at. If you're bringing it in right, if you're bringing things in right, it's an internal happiness with yourself, and knowing that seeing your life around you start to improve in other ways is knowing that yes, you're on your way towards maybe something that you feel is bigger or whatever. But just know you're always moving towards more. It's satisfied and eager for more, as Abraham would say. So it's close when you start to feel at peace and content in your everyday life, and you're just loving your life because you're happy with yourself, right? You're becoming your own source of happiness. You're getting it that, wow, this is all it is, right? I just need to know that I have access to this energy at all moments. And I just have to sometimes relax to get reconnected again. Oh, thanks, Claudia. I think even listening to Abraham, I used to say, like, I love Abraham. I literally love Abraham. But I used to say, I just want to get this. I want this to be easy. I want to understand it, and I want to explain it in the best way possible to people as well. Like, not only did I want to understand this in the easiest way possible, but I wanted to be able to explain it to people in the easiest way possible. And as much as I don't like not feeling good, I love diving into negative emotions and understanding them, and knowing that it only ever comes down to relaxing. Like, I've proved it to myself over and over and over again that if you just keep relaxing when you don't feel good, it will always, always, always work in your favor. It will always work in your favor. And I've proved it to myself time and time and time and time again. But yes, it does take a little bit of practice at first, because again, we're still reacting and we don't even realize it. But the more you keep doing it, you react less and less and less and less. Nothing bothers you anymore. Why? Because you have all the stuff that's meant for you is in your mind now. It's all your thoughts. So you don't have all those things. You release them all by remaining calm. So it's only good stuff in your mind. You keep moving towards more and better and more and better. It's out with the old, in with the new. Out with the old. How can I do that? Out with the old, in with the new. Out with the old, in with the new. You're releasing what doesn't serve you, and you're allowing what does. And you're only doing it by relaxing. It's just like, wow, I only got to relax. That's it. All the rest of the stuff starts to make sense. That putting you first starts to make sense. Doing some more stuff for yourself, that starts to click and make sense. But it's all going to start with relaxing and practicing non-reaction and meditating and resting more and doing some breath work. It's all going to start with the energies things, stepping away from things that just the news, social media, all that kind of stuff that you do have control over. Those few little things are going to lead to, like, okay, putting me first, doing things I want to do, saying no to this, saying not, I don't want to do that anymore. And then you just start lining up with everything. It's like it just starts happening. Doesn't mean that you're not going to have a bad moment again, because you will, because you're always going to be expanding. That's the thing. But you start to understand resistance now. You're like, I get it. I get why this is happening now. I understand. I don't have to figure it out why I'm not feeling amazing right now. I don't have to figure it out, but I understand it. So I'm just going to relax, and I'm going to chill, and I'm going to get quiet, and I'm not going to do anything until I feel better, because now I have the time to do that. Like, I didn't used to have the time to like just sit all day until I felt better because I had to get to work. But I used to get up way earlier to do that. I would give myself like a whole hour to be able to start my day good. So you make it work in the beginning. You make the best of what you got in the beginning. Eventually, you're going to have that time to make sure you don't start your day until you're on the right side of the bed, right? Yeah, so that's why you guys resonate with me. Like, I never resonated with even Abraham's methods, like the focus wheel, segment intending. I know she has a lot of other things, but I just listen to I take what I want. I'm very good at knowing what resonates and for what resonates with me, right? So like I'd be like, yeah, I love everything she says, but I ain't doing no focus wheel. Like, I don't want to do any of that. I didn't want to. The only thing I did do was script because I liked to script. That's why you have to do what feels best for you. We're all different. Yeah, just that simple practice. And being aware will help you too. So, Diab, sometimes you're aware of the things you keep repeating, right? If you're constantly searching on social media and it doesn't feel good, but you keep looking at it and you're like, I know this doesn't feel good. I know this causes a reaction out of me. I know what I'm doing isn't serving me. Sometimes we know right away, but sometimes we don't realize what we're doing, it doesn't serve us. You just keep relaxing, and eventually you'll be like, oh yeah, that doesn't serve me anymore, and you'll just keep moving on. You'll get it. But sometimes we do keep repeating things that don't serve us in the beginning. It takes a couple tries. You can't mess up. You're literally always moving forward. You're never going to go backwards again. You're never going to go backwards. Yes, you're right. I should start reading these questions. You mean like when they're pinned, Christine? Because I'm all over the place sometimes. Yeah. Although my message is pretty much always the same. Just stay calm, relax. You're always moving forward. There's nothing more you need to do. Everything's always falling into place. It's way easier than you realize. This is way easier than you realize. Everything you want is done. I promise you, everything you want is done. You're moving towards it right now, right? It's mostly about practicing relaxing as much as you can. Just relax when something doesn't feel good. Trust me, it'll work itself out. You don't have to figure it out. Just keep relaxing and also focusing on you as much as you can, doing things that you like. Have you listened to Bashar when say everything? Yes, I love Bashar. I do. I love Bashar. He says nothing has meaning because nothing does. Nothing out here has meaning at all. We place the meaning. And that's why remaining calm is also remaining neutral. You're remaining neutral with whatever's happening to you. So you're not placing that negative meaning on it right away, right? That's why I always say, I should have read that one. So he said, okay, where is that question? So he was just asking about Bashar. And Bashar says everything is neutral, right? So that's what it is. Everything out in our world here has zero meaning to it. And that's why calmness is your superpower. Because when you're calm, you're neutral. So when something doesn't feel good and you're not placing any meaning on it, it's going to work in your favor. It's going to automatically work in your favor because you're giving it zero meaning at all. So it has to work in your favor, right? Because what happens when you're calm? Your energy automatically raises. You automatically start to feel good. So you're lining up with the best version of it, right? That's how powerful you are. That's why calmness is so powerful. So you don't have to place a meaning. You just have to remain calm and neutral and just relax as much as you can. Everything's always working out for me. It always works in my favor. Just stay calm. And like I said, when you're still and you're quiet and you're keeping it to yourself, it has no other it has to work in your favor. It can only go that way because again, your energy automatically raises, so you're lining up with the best version of it. So that's why it literally is that simple. Yeah, exactly, Yogi. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off because my voice is running low. I'm running on empty, and my phone is being funny. I don't know why. It's like charging, but it's not charging. But I will jump on here later. Yes, no labels. No labels at all. Yes, Dream. No, I mean, I could sit here all day and chat, but I am a little hungry and it's 3 o'clock. And I figure if I stay on here even longer, then it might run into the next time, right? To hang out later. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks, Mara. Thanks, Christine. Thanks, Tail. Thanks, Claudia. Thanks, Dream. Thanks, Bridget. Shalina, if you're still here. Gogi. Mean. Sorry if I missed anyone. Fran. All right, guys, I'll be back later. Thanks again. Have a good rest of the day. I'll be back later, but this part of the day. Have a good evening.